Recording is on. So start again.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Messages from Heaven with me. My name is Bonnie Page, and today I have a wonderful guest, Reverend Nancy Smith of Angelscapes. Nancy is Akashic reader or practitioner, spiritual mentor, spiritual artist, a friend and colleague. Thank you for joining me, Nancy.
So welcome.
I'm so excited to talk to you today about the Akashic Records and what they mean to everyday people that might have not have even heard of the Akashic Records.
Oh gosh, it's my favorite topic to talk about.
Yes, and
So
Nancy, how
yeah,
long have you been doing this?
oh gosh, I want to say close to 20 years.
Nancy is like such a professional at it. I'm a newbie to it, only a couple years, so I love listening to Nancy talk as well. And today we're going to tell you about accessing the Akashic Records, what it can do for you. Like what's in the Akashic Records that will help you in this lifetime. You're listening to Nancy is the best at it. So I'm going to let you go ahead and start, Nancy.
Oh yeah, I love talking about this. The Akashic. Just wanted to. I'll first define what we're talking about. The Akashic records. People, if you've heard about it, you've heard about it through Edgar Casey. Or Helena Blavatsky is the person who she did not coin the phrase. She traveled and studied many different ancient religions and philosophies. And Akasha is a Sanskrit word that means energy. It's the energy of source. It's the energy, and we see God as um, energy, not as a person, but as a loving creator. That everything that that loving creator has created has been impressed on this indelible Akashic energy, which we call Akashic records, which we can all access. And
Mhm.
we access it lots of different ways. Irving Laszlo is a physicist who writes a lot about the Akashic records. He I'm going to go back a little bit with Edgar Casey. Read from the Akashic records, and he was the sleeping prophet.
The
So
sleeping prophet.
he went into this beautiful channel and mode, and the energies that he connected to were the Akasha, were the creator's energy. So stepping back into Irving Laszlo, the scientist explains that there is this field that connects all of us. And this field, he calls it the Akashic field. And that's where I work from. And do we all work from it when we're in our highest and best, when we're with our source, or when we're in when you're in the zone, like if you're a musician and you're in this beautiful creative zone, you're in the
Mhm.
Akashic creative energy. So when you're running and you're in the zone, you're in the energy exchange, and you're exchanging it from a highest source, and on and on. And when when you're just simply having a conversation with somebody and you're trying to comfort a friend, and you're reaching deep inside of yourself to figure out what can I say, and then some beautiful words start coming out. That's the Akashic creativity. That's the Akashic love. Now, when you study Akashic records, often you can be taught a prayer, and I actually do teach a prayer. And this prayer is to help you gain access or to help on purpose with a
So it's
complete
intention.
intention. Exactly. It's not accidental. It's not like, oh, I think I got there. I'm in the zone. No, I must be in the Akashic records. You open it up with a prayer, with an intention, and and I work a lot with my students on what that means to create an intention, what the exchange is, and who and what and the energy that you're working for, how to respect it, how to understand it, and how to let it heal you. Because you all know that when you're working with the creator's energy, whether as a medium or as a Reiki practitioner or a healer, you're going to that energy, and you need to let it heal you and work with you as you work with others. So working with the Akashic um, records or the Akashic energy is a very healing experience for you yourself personally, as well as for the person that you're working in front of. So it's a really specific energy exchange that many of us are experiencing even without talking about the Akashic prayer or the Akashic records. Now, when I'm working with the Akashic records, it's like giving me permission to allow my imagination to work with this creative energy. And like I travel, it's a very shamanic kind of. If you've ever heard of shamanic journeying with the drums and the rattles, you can journey into this energy and get a lot of cool information.
So
And
now if you're one of our viewers out there and they're like, I want to go into my Akashic records, what would you suggest for them?
well, I suggest I wrote a book. I suggest you could crack open Divine Love Affair and Akashic Journey, and there's
I
a
have been reading it. It's amazing. So Nancy, if people want to learn to get into their own Akashic records,
yes, yeah.
to learn about them a little bit first,
First,
correct?
yeah,
To see, so when something is coming in to them from
yeah.
that God source, they're kind of gonna know what to do with it a little bit.
Right. And within learning to read the records is also you coming to terms with how do my superpowers work? How do my clairs work? How do I get information? It's just like mediumship. And even if you're new to mediumship, where do I receive this higher information, and how do I know when my unconscious is working and when my higher conscious is working? So understanding that about yourself is that's a practice. So learning to open and close the records with intention. It's always nice to have a prayer and an intention
Mhm.
that will organize your thoughts and organize the energy for you. And you can, as you go in, you can experience God's love for you, the source's love for you. And as you understand the source's love for you, you'll start to understand the soul languages that come through to you through the different through your different senses. Clairs, you're clairvoyant or you're claircognizance, or clairaudient is another
Or
one that's
you're seeing or hearing or feeling, kind of for the layman out there,
yeah, exactly.
something's coming to you and you're getting a vision, or you're having a thought, or you're hearing
An
something.
inner voice is saying, no,
Um,
not that. Or yeah,
I do believe that reading like a book, like Nancy's book first, and then trying your own meditations to set that intention, say that prayer, like what you want to achieve too, that the intention that you want
mm,
to be in your Akashic records.
right, right.
um, the other thing is go to a practitioner that can actually show you first what can come through during a reading, right, Nancy? Because
Absolutely. Yeah.
and Nancy, tell people what can come through about a person's soul during an
Yeah.
Akashic reading.
So in an Akashic record reading, we all know amazing psychics that can just they like pull things out of your auric field. They just know things, and it's amazing. It's like, how did you know this? Well, it's everything that we do has it's imprinted in our energy field, our auric field, and when you combine that psychic energy with the connection to your soul, just like a medium, when I connect to a loved one from the other side, I'm connecting to your soul and your spirit guides that are in the energetic plane. And I'm not going too far from the question, is that you combine that healing with the psychic energy that you have, and you allow the soul to interpret the psychic energy that the reader's picking up on. So I can have a sense of, um, oh gosh, I have a sense of you've been sick for a while. You've been this, that, and the other thing, and it's affecting you this way. And the person says, yeah, how do you know? So in my what I do in my work is go to the soul, go to the spirit, and I'm still reading you in front of me, but I'm saying to the soul, what's going on with them? What is their body trying to tell them? And from a spiritual point of view, from a soul point of view, what is your soul trying to tell you? And I could then the information will start to come up. You have a soul? I'm just making this up at this point. You have a soul appointment right now, that which the way that you're going in your life is just uphill battle the whole way, and it's not how you're approaching solving your problems. You're going against yourself, and your soul is saying, can you relax a little bit more? And the thing that you know to be true about that job or that relationship, something big needs to shift. So you're in a soul appointment of shifting and changing. And that may not necessarily mean that the relationship you in is you are in isn't working doesn't mean it's necessarily going to have to break up with that person, but you're working with unconscious behaviors or you're working with past life stuff, and you don't have to do that anymore. Let's clear it up, let's heal it, and then let's approach your life differently. So your soul is about living its soul's dream. Your soul is about the healing and the experience it wants to create in your life. So that illness that I psychically picked up on, I don't come up with the information. I go to your soul to get the information of what to do.
We're not digging it out of you or giving you just something off the top of our hat. We're receiving it for
Receiving, just
you.
like it's very much
So
reading
the
in.
Akashic Records is called the book of your life. So there's past lives, this lives, and even
Right,
future lives in there. But
exactly.
when we're dealing on a soul level here, we're helping you on this soul's journey in this lifetime.
Right,
Because maybe you have some challenges or
right.
obstacles
Yeah.
that aren't going away and you don't know why you have them, or you have these traits that you're like, why do I do that?
Yeah.
Or there's some good things in there too, like my gifts and my talents. Like, where did they come from? Like, so a lot of people will come and they'll ask, what's my life's purpose? What's my soul's mission? So Nancy, talk about that when you're tapping into that for people. And I have goosebumps. So that
Well,
means that,
yeah.
yes, people want to know about what can I learn about my soul's mission or my purpose
Yeah, well, what you
this
could
lifetime.
exactly. So again, going back to I pulled psychic information from you, and I'm working with it, and I'm going to set it aside, and I'm going to go to what is your soul's journey for this particular lifetime, and what have you brought in from past lives? What is your soul trying to overcome or embrace, or finally understand, or get strong with? And then what are your soul, what I call soul contracts? What is the old business that you can now heal and get rid of? So sometimes we have agreements and contracts on a soul level that no longer serve us, that no longer work for us. And then we will work with your soul, and your soul say, that is not exactly what I'm asking you to do. You kind of, your belief structures kind of jiggered it over here. And your soul say, but we can let that go. And here's where I really want you to go. So this beautiful, your soul will bring healing. I like to work with the angels, but your soul will
Nancy,
bring,
can we talk about that a little bit more? Like that soul contract, like
yeah.
you can have a soul contract within even your soul family, correct? Like siblings, or
Yeah,
expand
yeah.
on that a little for me.
Well, okay, one really basic is the poverty. I can't save money, or I can't bring money in. And you may have been have a soul contract with poverty. Maybe you were a monk in a couple of lifetimes, or a nun who take vow of poverty and cannot keep money because it's against their
And
spiritual
that was a part of
process.
your soul. No, 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 no money
Right.
in that lifetime.
And then this lifetime, your soul wants to experience abundance, and so you're at conflict. An old belief structure is now at conflict with what your soul wants to do, which is a learning, which is learning. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you go, we could go into the soul contracts and say, where is this poverty coming from? Where,
And
and
you look back in time and you can see where that
yeah.
the beginning of that was.
Right. Right. So I use a device of going into your soul's temple, and then we go to the soul's library. We open up the soul contract books, and we just allow your imagination to read what is there. What is, and then you'll have a story, a past life story will start to unfold, and you'll say, "Oh, that's what I'm experiencing now." You'll feel it, you'll sense it, you'll have a complete connection to it. And when you can feel it and sense it and have a connection to it, you can heal it. Feel it to heal it, kind of thing.
Can you tell our viewers how a soul contract is healed, Nancy? Like, what do you do as a practitioner and you're sitting with someone, say it's me, and I've had that contract about money, then what would you do?
Well, so we've done some work now, and we're recognizing that there's a money problem. You're telling me about your timeline, your life, and where it's shown up, and then we will this is it's a three-pronged. What I do, the three step process. First of all, what do you want to experience instead? well, I really want to experience abundance in my life. I really want
I'd like to pay my bills.
to pay my bills, have money to spend, blah blah blah. And so we capture that in a beautiful statement. That's a,
That's number one. What do
yeah,
you want to
to
experience in
experience
your life?
instead. And then we will do a little bit of a journey, um, and to find out a little more in depth of what it is that you believe. Where has this been showing up in your life in other times? So we recognize and we define what that is and what we don't want. And then we will go. Now we've prepared ourselves to go to that journey to your temple and to find that Akashic book, soul contract book in the Akashic Records. And then we'll open up the book and more information will reveal itself, hopefully. And you'll start to have a different understanding of this thing that you've struggled with.
So
And
once you have the understanding of what you need to let go of, you can understand it better.
you understand it and you can feel it, and sometimes it's an amazing little thing. And then when we're in that, this is where the energetic healing starts. We start to say, do you want to keep this belief? Do you want to keep operating with this? And you say yes or no, and I'd like to remove the contract, or I'd like to rewrite the contract. And to be honest with you, removing the contract and then aligning yourself with the energy is the best way to go. And I want to now align myself with this new energy even better than I thought. And then I go through a prayer process to remove any obstacles that might be in your way, or any energetic constrictions, and we remove those. And then we go into, are there any disincarnate beings or that you've made in a contract with, and we remove those. And then we align you with your soul's highest and best, and the new template is brought into you, into your auric field and into your awareness. And then this is where I work with the angels, where I ask the angels. Archangel Michael is a protector to help remove all things, and
Mhm.
Archangel Raphael and Mother Mary are the healers and hold the new template, that they will help to guide you and keep you trained, keep training you on the new thought process. And then we give it to the grace of God, everything's cleared, and then we say the statement, this is what I want to experience instead. And then you claim that new pathway in your life. And usually there's some awareness of things that you need to stop doing, or need to change and shift up. So there's an action items that you need to commit to for your own self to continue to do. And that's the
Do
contract
you
is
go through
cleared.
the chakras at all, like with Archangel Michael with that at all? Only because I'm just wondering your process. I went to a reading at the Omega Institute years ago, and I was, believe it or not, painfully shy. When I had to do my first mediumship event, my husband brought me to get a microphone. And when the person put the microphone in front of me, I couldn't speak.
Mm,
And we got outside, and my husband said, I didn't know you were shy like that, like in front of
mhm.
people. And when I went to the Omega and I had an Akashic reading, he went back into my timeline and he said, I had been humiliated in front of the whole town once and made to walk through
Oh,
um, yeah, lines of people while being ridiculed. So when it came in this lifetime, I was still holding on to that.
with that, yeah.
And then he said, can we heal that? And it was my self-confidence, right? In my solar plexus. I felt the energy system, and then I felt it leave.
Wonderful. It's wonderful.
And so I think that's a different way that we could work with your energy system as well, Nancy.
Just
I don't know
yeah.
if you've tried that or not, but I know you could.
I work with yeah, I work with the whole energy, and I'm really focused on the connection. If I'm being guided to work with a specific part in your body, then yes,
And you
we
do
do
that.
that definitely.
That's beautiful.
Mostly
Just
it's the relationship between your belief system And what it's the energetic template is the whole energetic body, your whole
Mhm.
energetic body. But if there's a specific yes, it's sitting right in your voice, your throat chakra, or sitting in your solar plexus, or your heart has been broken so many times, honey. And let's heal the heart. You know, that absolutely can happen. Um, but since we're working from a higher, that higher plane,
God
we're,
source.
we're, we're clearing it up from the higher plane as well. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's just amazing. So, the Akashic Records just really, I think everybody should go out and get a reading, or get a book and read about, become aware, I think, of the Akashic Records a
Yeah.
little bit more. I think us mediums might know about it. I don't know if everybody knows about the
Yeah.
Akashic
Yeah.
Records and how it could actually help everyone to learn about them, to do a little journeying on their own, or a little meditation, or to go to have a reading.
Mhm.
There's so much that is held in these records, this book of life. There's just so much there. And when you go to someone like Nancy, or someone that knows how to do the healing work as well, I think that's so important.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's I often talk to my about myself as being an Akashic medium because as I do the mediumship work, and I'm bringing spirit through, I want to be clear that I'm bringing them through the Akashic realm to the Akashic records, and that the healers are there, that the soul is there as well. And understanding yourself from a soul point of view is really key to
Think so.
yeah.
How we've heard going to school, we're a soul having a human experience.
Right.
And that's so true. I tell everybody, think of even the person next door to you, or standing in line at the grocery store. That's another soul. That's a soul being. You're
Absolutely.
a soul being.
Yeah.
All this information is in our lifetimes, and before, and our future
Yeah.
lifetimes. Our
Absolutely.
soul just goes on, right, Nancy?
Well, it's eternal, and we're and source is eternal, and we're children of source. We're children of God.
We
Um,
are.
yeah, yeah,
So there's a lot of healing and emotional healing by having a reading as well, or by
yeah,
accessing
absolutely.
the Akashic.
Yeah, how could you not when you're in that space? You're
So there's
so
also a lot of guidance and support in there,
yeah,
because they're wanting to help you on your soul's journey, God source, right, Nancy? The
yeah,
angels, the
yeah,
ancestors. I
all
mean,
there, yeah,
everybody wants to see you succeed in this lifetime, and for your soul to grow and expand,
yeah,
because that's why we're here having this lifetime, is so our soul can grow and expand. Maybe in another lifetime you weren't the nice guy. Maybe you're holding on to that and you want to let that go.
yeah, or understanding what compassion is. I understand
Empathy,
and yeah, and
compassion,
understanding what a
that
soul's
we're here
progression
for
is about. Yeah,
unconditional love, really to
yeah,
learn love, right?
yeah, yeah. We're learn to yep, and we're also here to bust some myths that we're living in, and that I wanted to talk a little bit about. You can open up the records of your home that you're living in, or the community that you're involved in, not necessarily personal other people, or it can open up the records of the country that you're a citizen of, and to understand what you are in agreement with, that maybe you're really not, that's not the best agreement for you to have. So understand the depth of how life is flowing for you. And a lot of us are here, this is a period of change, this is a period of development, hugely in this particular generation of people. We all have change, that we're the soul is always progressing, but a lot of us are being asked to disagree, or to step away from the status quo. And working in the Akashic records is a very powerful tool, as you say, this system isn't working and this is freaking me out, or this what I always thought to be true isn't true anymore. You go back to the Akashic Records to find that soul level truth and to find that guidance so that you can be the change maker that your soul is asking you to be in this time of change, which isn't comfortable a lots of the time. But the Akashic realm, the Akashic source, can show you you've been a change maker before, and here's the tools, and here's the hidden talents that you have that you didn't know you had, but also here's the resources that you have had for eons, and you can access it now as well. And when you're getting your courage up, like you said with the microphone, you're breaking an agreement with yourself and the people around you, which are limited, and you're realigning your agreement with your higher power, which says, "But I want you to speak. You have a beautiful message, and now that you know how not to speak, now you can really speak with compassion and love and caring, and your speaking will have wisdom with it. Will have a high level
And
of
Nancy
wisdom."
speaking, I'm getting goosebumps all over me because it's so true. I had to say to myself as well, I'm not holding on to that anymore, because giving mediumship messages or Akashic readings or any work that we do is for healing others.
And when you ask about how does this heal you, it's your recognition of it and your surrender to, yes, that's what happened. That's what that's what the these are all the pieces that came together to make that, and I get that, but I'm not making that anymore. So I'm not using these agreements or ingredients or whatever you want to say, and that's the healing. That's the healing that you actually can untether or unhook from something as you tried to let go of such and such for a gazillion times, if not once, it's a gazillion times. And then the Akashic realm can come in, and when you do either some past life and soul contract work, you could say, "Oh, that's where I'm hooked into this." And this, I can unhook now, and now I can let it go. So the healing is understanding where you're holding on, or where your thought forms are keep creating it over and over again. So the Akashic realm takes you to a subtle level, takes you to a subtle area of understanding the soul's journey. Um, you could be an artist many times in your life, and at one point you were a very successful, amazing artist, and but you kind of flittered it away by drinking too much and partying too much, and you kind of wasted your talent in a
I
sense.
can't believe you just said that because spirits, right? Like mention alcoholism. Like is that something that you can bring along many lifetimes as
Absolutely.
well? And
So
then you
it,
said
yeah.
it. I'm like,
So here you are in this lifetime trying to be your artist, but you can't quite grab a hold of it. It keeps frittering away. It keeps leaving your fingertips. So you can go into the Akashic records and say, what am I healing now as I become this artist? What am I coming into terms with? And then surprise, surprise, you're coming to terms with a life that you threw away through addiction, and for all the different reasons that you did it, and now you're reclaiming the talent and you're healing the losses. If you can understand. So
mhm.
now we want to understand alcoholism in its own sense. Is there's a lot of teaching with addiction. There is a lot of I don't want to say the word karma, but there is a lot of soul lessons with addiction, and giving up your pursuit of your soul and your higher self for something else. And sometimes we have the genes that are the addict genes. They talked
That
about,
you kind of
yeah,
was hereditary through
yeah,
the years.
yeah. And I think this also can be soul genes or soul energetic levels. You still have that in that needs to be healed, that needs to be understood and embraced. I feel like when we see somebody who's struggling with an addiction, or we have our own addictions to whatever, um, we could have compassion for ourselves and embrace. So what is the soul loss here? And maybe we need to have a soul retrieval, bring back that part of your soul that didn't connect, that you didn't connect with, that beautiful chi, that beautiful energy, and you just chose not to connect with it. And this is the lifetime where you're learning to connect to that energy and stay connected. and that no matter what choices are around you, you're going to continue to move into the and align yourself with your guidance, with that higher power, where in another lifetime you had so many talents and abilities, but you chose to disconnect to that higher aspect of yourself.
Because I think what we should mention as well is our soul has God's free will. I always say we have our own free will,
We
and
do.
no one can stop or take away that
Right.
free will. So even though we're meant to go down one path, I mean, we have that free will. We can choose and make bad
Yeah.
choices
Yeah.
for ourselves as
We
well.
can. We can, and I was meditating on this a while ago. To what do I teach about this free will? What do I teach about where is your soul? I guess the question was, where does your soul pathway? What does your soul plan live within your consciousness? And we have a couple chakras above our heads, which is a local soul, and then there's the one mind, and the guides told me this also, your soul plan is also embedded in your lower two chakras,
Oh,
and which are your survival chakras and your creative chakras and your chakras for living this life. And your unconscious really works through our lower two chakras a lot. Nothing wrong with ego, nothing wrong with unconscious. They keep us alive. They show us the agreements that we need to keep moving in our lives. But your soul's plan and your soul's personality is embedded in that place. So even if you do not live consciously to live your soul's power and do your soul's plan, you will still do it. You will still do it in on some level. So if you feel like you're wasting your life, the answer is you're not wasting your life. Get up every morning and breathe and do the best you can with what you have. And the most humblest of life can be the most powerful soul life in your soul's
absolutely.
journey. So
Yeah.
that so I thought it was really important to say this, because some people take the Akashic and the soul and they put it way up here that's unattainable, and really no, it's in your gut. It's when you ask me, I think I was in my Akashic records. I think I was always working in there. And you were, and we are. It's when we move it into a conscious level on purpose is when it changes the whole game. It changes the whole
So
thing.
again, that word intention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to akin an intention to awareness, to your aware self. And I see it as we have our lower chakras, we have our roots like a tree, and we're really rooted into this earth to have a full life. And we have this amazing physical body that has its own wisdom. And that's the unconscious self, that's the physical self. And then we have the higher self, which I say is the branches of the trees, it's all the leaves. And that's where your expression of yourself, the fruits that you're doing in your life as it's connected to your higher power. And sometimes we have a schism. One doesn't connect with the other, but it's our hearts. It's like is the trunk of the tree. They're hearts that connect us. They connect the unconscious self to the higher conscious self, and that's where the wisdom. And that's when you really are creating gems.
Which
And
is
that's
beautiful, all from
yeah,
the heart
the heart
centered
center,
love brings you back
creativity,
together.
compassion, courage. Um, your emotions are so important. They're little message. They're big messages, messengers. Emotions are messengers, and as you become aware of those emotions, here's the thing: you bring that to sacred. You bring it to source, to sacred space. Bring it to the Akashic realm. Bring it to your higher your guides, and your unconscious. And the healing happens, and your unconscious self starts to align with it. It starts to follow the pathway because they like it. They recognize that there's something beautiful and precious and valuable there. So when the aware
And
self,
so many people during these hard times are looking for more, Nancy.
absolutely looking for more, the more, when we're looking for more, then the more isn't there anymore. It's terrifying when it's gone. It's like going when COVID, we went to the grocery store and all the ramen noodles were gone. It's nerve-wracking. But when we work with our aware self and we bring the fear up and we say to source, whoever we perceive as source, help me with this fear. How else can I experience this fear? Fear becomes courage, and a pathway appears, and creativity appears, and all of a sudden, um, the ramen noodles aren't so important it's your create ability to create abundance and well-being in your life that comes from within. That becomes the most important thing. So right now in this time of change, the most important thing is to have that your heart really connect to your resources and connect to the guidance of how to use these resources in a new way. And this is where the Akashic work is is where it does it. That's where it shines. That's where it does its best. When our soul wants to know all the hangnails. Our soul wants to know that we're afraid. Our soul wants to know that I don't know what to do. I have an overwhelm. There's this, that, and everything. And our soul says, okay, I got it. I'm with you. Because our soul is learning as we learn.
Absolutely. And this is our journey, and it is about learning. So
Exactly. It is. And it's about moving forward. And I just have to add this is that humanity is being asked, where we have all this soul level, this higher level stuff coming in, and more people are bringing the higher level stuff in and aligning themselves with it, and it's challenging the unconscious, it's challenging the physical part of humanity to move forward, and develop and grow. So the
yes,
old,
wherever there is change,
yeah,
then there's new beginnings, a
yeah,
newness, you
and
know.
we're actually being asked to do, and if you could open up the records and gently see where is this taking me, you will see an amazing place, just an amazing place. It's kind of reminds me of, and don't laugh too much, I'm a mother, I raised two kids in front of Sesame Street, but there's a song, or Bert and Ernie, remember Bert and Ernie?
Mhm.
And um, so I think it was Bert that was wanting to play the blues. He wanted to pick up a saxophone and play. He wanted to learn a new talent, a new gift, but he loved his rubber ducky, and he couldn't have both. So the song was, "You got to put down your rubber ducky if you want to play the blues." And a lot of us are being
That's
asked to
true.
put down, what we hold as secure. It's not going to necessarily. The rubber ducky will sit right next to
It's
him
hard because we want to hold on that rubber ducky though,
because,
really hard. We
yeah,
like comfortable in our
yeah,
lives.
and,
You
and
know,
comfort and
everything's
security.
just good,
Yeah,
you know, everything's going well. That's when
yeah.
we like, that's when we feel secure. But to move forward,
But the shift, the security from something outside of ourselves that we can touch and feel to having that relationship, sitting in that power and having that security be from that source. That takes practice. That's why we call it a practice. To
mindfulness,
mindfulness, and
mindfulness,
you're not alone, and you are loved, and
never alone.
you're gonna walk this new, like, I'm afraid of heights, and if you ever asked me to walk a narrow pathway on heights, I would be saying a prayer the whole way through. I mean, I would probably just leave my body. I'm so afraid of heights. But what I'm saying is
What
that,
I want to say to you is, did you go into your own Akashic records and say,
yes,
why am I afraid of heights?
and the why. Okay, I got all the whys. Okay, but
You
what's
did.
what's behind the whys?
Right.
You didn't, is I, in my fear, I pulled back from source and stayed in my fear. And
Oh,
the answer, so I got all the whys, but the answer is go back to source
go back to
and
source.
walk with source and
Oh,
be
which is
with source. That's the
beautiful.
rubber ducky. That's the security. And as you do it in small little things, that you'll and you build that confidence and that relationship in the small little things, you'll be able to do a little bit bigger things, a little bit bigger things, and then you're walking the narrow path that's high up in the precipice, and you didn't think you could ever do it, but you're with source, you're not alone.
Which
And
is an amazing feeling when you know deep within your heart that you have a whole team up there for you,
right,
including God, Jesus, and
yeah,
the angels, right? You know,
no,
just walking this path with
and
you.
that's how valued you are. That's how valued each and every one of us are,
Absolutely.
that we have
Every
this.
single person.
And then as we ask our physical bodies, and the fear of the heights is within the physical body. It's you know what I mean? And you say, oh, it's in your head, but the your body's feeling it. And you ask your body to move through it and to continue to develop it, then that's when you're asking humanity to move forward. It's like the story of the 100th monkey. When enough of us do it, the next person will do it. So the story is that you're on this little island. These monkeys are on this little island, and so big that there's two bunches of monkeys. They don't even know each other. And then one monkey falls into the water and learns how to swim, and instead of drowning. And then another monkey falls into the water, learns how to swim, and so now they're all teaching each other how to swim. When the 100th monkey learns how to swim, on the other side of the island, a monkey will fall in the water and learn how to swim. We're all connected. So when we
Absolutely.
ask ourselves, when we go inside and find that inner strength, and we ask ourselves to go past our limits, to go further, that's how we train humanity, meaning our human bodies,
Hmm.
to take one more step forward. When we see the fear of let's just talk about prejudice. When we see, prejudice is fear, and when the 100th person said that prejudice is a lie, it's a fear, and we can conquer the fear, then
It'll go
the
away.
well, the next person who's maybe really so enveloped in prejudice will start to say,
Mm.
what, why am I judging this person? Why don't I get to know? They'll get to know the person that they're prejudging. And that's why what we say and what we do is so important, and leaving our own belief systems aside to get to that soul's truth. The truth is there. It's just been covered up for a long, long time. We just need to uncover it. And we can walk through fire. I don't recommend just walking through fire to prove it, but you can walk through what you
We know
perceive
what
as
you
scary
mean. We know
fire,
what you mean,
get to the other side. And that's what the Akashic realm, and that's what the Akashic records, and that's what the soul work is all about. So when I bring somebody through from the other side to prove the continuity of life, I'm bringing comfort to the grief, hopefully, but I'm also bringing, here's the miracle of life. Can you
It's
see
beautiful
this
because there
miracle?
is no death. There is no
Exactly.
death as we know it. Just the
Yeah.
physical body, but
Yeah.
never the soul.
Never the soul. But let's bring the physical bodies along a little bit while we're here. Do you know the
Absolutely.
all the entrainment that we have as physical human beings, all the agreements that we have with each other that aren't quite working? Now we can do that soul on purpose, that soul work, to get those agreements to be recognized as false evidence appearing real. And where's the
Hmm.
real? Where's the truth? And if we can push ourselves, then somebody close to us will start to push themselves. And then, and
And I do believe the world is wants and is becoming on a higher vibration, kind of like the 3D to the 5D, right? Like
exactly.
more openings of light, more people
Yeah,
seeking that beautiful light, that higher
absolutely.
vibration
Yeah.
than
And
ever
yeah,
before.
exactly. And then to put it into simple terms of love, accepting the love that's there, the spiritual love that's there and being offered to you at all times. If you're afraid to talk about the 5D, 3D, if we're changing and everything has to fall apart before it can change, if that's too much, just put it aside, and go to source and move forward as you can, as gently as you can. And I've always said 100 times, if I've said it once, an integration in loving ourselves, having compassion for ourselves, integrating that fear into in with the truth. That's what ascension is.
Yeah,
And
I'm hearing spirit say, walk in love, just walk in love.
yeah,
That's like the best thing we
and
can do, I think.
yeah, and you don't have to worry
Hold each
about,
other up.
yeah,
Hold each other up.
yeah, and don't worry about the big stuff. Love the small stuff, and it will all fall in
Absolutely.
place. It'll all fall in place.
It's beautiful. Nancy, you have such wisdom. Really. I could listen to Nancy for days and just crank her up and just sit here and do this. But I know she has a busy schedule, but really everybody, Nancy has a few books. This is just one of them, right, Nancy?
Yes, yeah.
And they can all be found on
They can
Amazon.
all be found on Amazon, and I'll just
And I
quickly.
saw them on your website.
Yeah, yeah. And I need to get the next one up. And this is the simpler book. This is called Signs, Synchronicities, and Nudges, because some people were kind of stuck with, well, how do I know that this is the Akashic Records and it's not me? And this is about building your intuition and building that soul language.
And
to
is that on Amazon as well, Nan?
yes, it's on Amazon
Okay.
as well.
Hold it up one more time for
Here it
everyone.
is, signs, synchronicities, and
So
nudges,
it's a
beginners
beginner's guide
to
to
conversing with the universe.
conversing with the universe. That's amazing.
And we it's for the regular person, and it goes into all the different clairs, and it goes into dreams, how to listen to your dreams, how to understand them. And so this is a very good companion to Divine Love Affair and Akashic Journey, because our language speaks this, has its own language. Our soul has its own language,
Absolutely.
and learning to listen and learning to speak that soul's
Acknowledge
language.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
just starting a conversation,
Oh
right,
my
with the
gosh.
universe is
Yeah.
amazing.
And it really it helps so many things. It helps the fear, helps the grief. You know, if you're really willing to listen, losing a loved one and being willing to,
Very hard. But
very hard.
if you
And yeah,
start a new conversation up, it doesn't mean that all the grief goes away, but there's a light there that you're like, oh, my mom left me a sign.
yeah, and a new
There's-
pathway opens up. How to live with your mom who's on the other side, not here now. That you can do it. There's a new pathway that opens up. It's a very
Absolutely.
loving, patient pathway. And
And Nancy, you're gonna be some places you want
yeah, so I'm going to
to tell me
Lilydale.
about? Lilydale, we love Lilydale.
Yeah, I'm there for a week with a group of people doing June 15th through the 19th of
Gonna have an
2025.
amazing time. Let's
Yeah.
tell people what Lilydale is.
Oh, Lilydale is the center of spiritualism.
It is, but for the, regular person, the mediums and healers live there, right?
yeah,
And
there's
I
tons
love
of,
going there.
yeah.
It's so
Yeah, it's a
amazingly,
magical land. It's
it,
for 200 years.
it's
People have
in
been,
Buffalo, New York, guys.
well,
So
not Buffalo. It's past
it's
Buffalo.
a little past Buffalo. So yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
have to
in
fly into Buffalo, right? Somebody just
yeah.
said that to me. It's near.
You fly, or if you're like me, you drive, but it's near, kind of more near Erie, the Erie Canal. But in any event, you go down Buffalo and turn left and follow the lake down
I
to
know who just said
Lilydale.
that. I was watching James Van Prague on his show, and he goes, Lilydale, Buffalo. And I go, oh, okay, you can say it's near Buffalo. But yeah,
Yeah, it's about
I
4 or 5.
used to drive 9 hours to get there
Absolutely.
as well.
From
So,
where we live. But with Lilydale, it's many teachers have been there for over hundreds and hundreds of years, and to teach about how life progresses after the change calls death. And the grounds are amazing, and they're magical. It's really a magical place, and so it's a very good place to go and learn, or to just go and heal. It has a healing temple, the Temple of Healing, and then
I
it has
love that
stump.
Temple of Healing.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. And then it
So
has
to find Nancy there, just go on her website. I'm sure you have
well,
it.
be Lilydale Assembly.
Assembly will have it
Or
on their
yeah,
page.
exactly. And my Facebook page, Nancy of Angelscapes, I have it all over my Facebook page of where it is, and how to sign up to go there.
See
Um,
that?
and
That's great.
it's great. And so it's a it's the week before Lilydale opens. So it's like 5 teachers
Oh.
there that are going to teach. It's called a psychic sampler. Teach lots of different ways you can open up your spirit to different experiences.
You're gonna have a wonderful
It's gonna
time.
be great. It's lovely. And then I'll be another place. I'll be in Pennsylvania. I'll be putting that on my Facebook page, and then I'm going to be at in August, Temple Heights Spiritualist Camp up in Maine. So if you feel like you want a little bit of a Maine experience, and
A
then
little retreat.
yeah, and I will be starting to teach my Akashic certificate. It's a 6 month certification program, where we go really deep into self healing and the Akashic records, and how to create that sacred space with source. And we'll do past lives, we'll do soul contract healing, we'll do angel work, we'll do all kinds of work. And it's a 6 month intensive, and I'm starting it September 27th, coming up this fall. So if you're interested, you can go to my website, find it, but you can also click and do a discovery session. It's free.
Now, is that for beginners as well,
For all
or
levels.
someone that's already
No,
trained?
it's all level. You're going to learn how to access the Akashic records. You're going to
Oh,
learn what
perfect.
they
So,
are, and then
so
you're going to
that
learn
this
how to
can
use
be
them.
your all-in-one class right here, guys.
Right.
Can
Yeah,
you?
so yes,
Yes.
all in one class, learn it and then learn how to use it. It's wonderful to learn that prayer. I really recommend anytime you can take an Akashic class, take it. This particular class is the reason why I wrote it this way is so you know how to use it too. You've got the prayer and you're practicing it in all different kinds of ways. And you practice it in healing, you're practicing it in journeying, you're practicing it in helping somebody else. So many people who take this certification class um, use it in their business. They'll use it in their personal practice. Whatever they choose to do, they can use it.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
So I'm really excited about that. I haven't taught it in about a year and a half. So I'm coming back at it strong, and
And you're ready.
I'm ready. But on my angelscapes.net page, my Angelscapes, I'm all about Angelscapes because I'm Nancy Smith. Um, is You could book a session, click book now, and then go to the free discovery session. It's about a 20-minute to 30-minute talk about what I do, what the classes are about, or what the mentorships are all about. I do Akashic mentorships where we go in and do soul retrieval, or learning your soul's language, learning where in my life am I struggling and where am I not hearing my soul. And so we do belief work, we do clearings, we connect with the angels, and so those mentorships I offer 3 different levels. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to do in the Akashic realm.
And
People,
you're so talented.
oh,
So
thanks.
thank you so much for coming on today. Thank
Thank
you
you.
from
You're
the
so
bottom of my
welcome.
heart.
You're so welcome.
And we'll see you
See
soon
you soon.
in something, right?
Absolutely. I hope so. Thanks.
Thanks, Nancy.
Bye bye.
Bye.